So we talked about action beats, we talked about realistic dialogue, and we need to talk about when to use those dialogue tags, okay? Waiters. A lot of time when a waiter or a server comes to a table, great time to use a dialogue tag. Instead of trying to give this whole little scenario with this person who means nothing to the rest of the story, assuming they don't, just, what, can I get you something to drink, the waiter asked? That's fine. We don't care about that waiter anyway. That's just, adding authenticity to the scene with just a word that doesn't really matter. If nothing else, all he's doing is providing irritation because that guy was just about to ask her to marry him or whatever, right? Or fire that girl for being late again. Do it in a public place, it's safer, right? So, I mean, in a time like that, dialogue tags make sense. If adding any action beat isn't going to add to the story, if you can't find a way to do it to add to the story and to give the action beat, sure, use a dialogue tag. But if you have used any in the previous 2 or 3 sentences, see if you can't go without them, okay? Because dialogue tags really do weigh down the story, and you really do begin feeling like you're back in kindergarten, 1st grade, 2nd grade, reading Dick and Jane's. And it gets old fast. It gets old really fast. And when you do use a dialogue tag, try to occasionally put it at the beginning of the sentence. As he watched her doing this or that, John asked, da 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 da. It feels a little less choppy than tacking it on at the end of the sentence. It's one thing I've told my kids when we were talking about dialogue tags is when you tack a dialogue tag at the end of the sentence, it's like tacking on please at the end of a request. It feels different. It feels less genuine and more of a, I've got to add that to feel like whatever, So if you go up to someone and say, hey, may I please have a drink of water? It feels authentic. It feels like, yeah, I would like to have a drink. I appreciate that. Would you mind? It feels like you really are requesting. But when you go up to someone and say, can I have a drink of water, please? That please at the end, there's something about it that can, not always, but it can feel like you're tacking it on to check a box so that you've done your politeness for the day. And in the same way, dialogue tags at the end of sentences can feel that way. They can feel perfunctory. That's the word I was looking for. Just gotta do this. Next, check a box. Okay, so use them when it's really the best way to get something past. If it's an insignificant character that you're not going to see again, use it if it hasn't been used in a while and you have no other way to do it. But try not to make your dialogue tags your default. Because when I start reading through a book and I see lots of dialogue tags, and I didn't realize I've done this all my life and I did not know it. It has to be an amazing book for me to keep going. The Mrs. Polifax books, I use them a lot, and I'm really sorry, but they're a great example of someone breaking all of today's rules in a way that I don't really care because the books are so amazing. Let's face it, most of us are not that brilliant of writers to be able to just totally break all the rules that people are expecting and it be that amazing, right? So when it comes to Mrs. Polifax, she'll do, he shut the door loudly. Instead of saying he slammed the door, she'll say he shut the door loudly. Or, instead of he whined, it'll be he said whinedly. She does these things that no publisher would go anywhere near today. And yet she does them brilliantly, and you don't care because you care so much more about what's coming next that you just kind of ignore it. And it becomes kind of funny. It's not going to be funny for our readers. Trust me, we need to be better than that.